How could Donald Trump's indictment backfire on Joe Biden?
Are they saying this because it already did, and they're trying to see why this could have happened?
Because they're talking about the big one right now. You know, I have a newspaper here, and it says brace. I don't want to put my hat on over here. It says, what is it over here? It talks about bracing for the new indictments that will be coming out of Georgia. More of the same shit, and it's just so crazy because it's in your face. It's like there's two sets of rules. I mean, if this is all an act, and they're trying to prove that Donald Trump is an outsider, they're doing a good job at it because they're just going after things that really they are guilty of. So after last week's indictment of the former president, Donald Trump, relating to the 2020 election, which is just crazy, they're saying that you can never, ever protest an election. CNN declared that the charges were personal for President Joe Biden, who previously said on Trump's words sounded like sedition. Of course... Trump
of course it's personal. It's illegal.
They called it his Beckett moment, right? You know, that movie, remember Beckett, the movie, the King, you know, will somebody rid me of this priest?
Oh.
Of course, Trump was not charged with sedition or seditious conspiracy, nor was he charged with conspiracy to incite or insurrection. The grounds for his second impeachment. However, if Biden does view this case as personal, as CNN suggests, he might be right for the wrong reason. That's because the case being constructed against Trump by the Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith could prove to be a serious problem for Biden, too, particularly on the basis for a House impeachment inquiry. The latest Trump indictment, based on little new evidence, there's no new evidence, and even less established law, forces a major threshold challenge under the First Amendment. Smith is seeking to criminalize what constitutes disinformation. This is it right now. What disinformation, which you don't put out. You put out malinformation. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
Which not only runs against the grain of the First Amendment, but also prior cases. That includes United States v. Alvarez, which overturned the conviction of a politician for knowingly lying about his military background. The Justice Department acknowledges the Constitution protects false statements made by political campaigns, yet it maintains that Trump can be convicted for lying because he really did not believe what he said. So isn't there like a theory out there, there's a difference between lying and bullshitting? Like if bullshitting, you actually believe the lie.
Do you think Trump didn't believe? Yeah. I don't think in his entire life Trump has ever believed he lost something. I don't think one time the thought is, you know, I really lost that one. That was my bad.
Yes.
I not that I'm aware of.
100% agree with you. The problem is that the effect of these lies largely fueled the actions of third parties. So what he's saying is that his actions kind of fueled people to go and march to the Capitol, but we're going to do it peacefully because we're the party of law and order. If Trump was accused of using fraud or of lying to federal investigators, there would be no free speech problem. The complaint, however, focuses on the lies rather than any larceny or standalone crime. It is diffuse in saying that raising doubts over the election undermine the value or results of voting. Previous challenges have been made to certification or presidential elections with little bias, including the Democrats, which you guys have been playing all week on this show, all last week, about the Democrats complaining that the elections were not fair, and even alternative sets of electors have been submitted without criminal charges.
Okay, do you know what this is for? And I learned this from watching the Crystal Saga. It's this debate. Crystal Saga debate with Michael LaRosa, who is a former Jill Biden press secretary. He actually says what it's all about at the very end, which shocked me. It's that Trump has all this money. The whole idea is, it's not even, I don't think, a criminal thing. I mean, maybe it could work, hopefully. But the main thing is, so he doesn't have enough money left to campaign with.
They want to bleed him.
They want to bleed him of money for the campaign, not understanding that all you do is talk about him all day. Somehow, still not getting this point.
Yes.
That all you do, and then you're unfair to this idiot. You don't let him stand on his own awful merits because they're guilty of them.
They never attack him of what they should attack him on.
So
they attack him on bullshit.
Yeah, they got to make up things for you to hate about him. And then with the hope that he won't be able to afford his campaign.
Yes.
As if he's not going to get free campaign TV time.
He's been raising money off this shit. What is wrong with these people? Everything they do, it has the opposite effect of what they want. And don't you think, Kurt, too, as well, that like when you're accusing a dude of lying for whatever reason, that it might come back to bite you in your own ass because you do the same thing, if not worse? I mean, Joe Biden has this whole Hunter Biden situation.
If Amber Heard couldn't figure it out, you think Joe Biden's gonna?
I don't know. That's a good point, man.
Amber Heard was aghast when it came back on her.
Just Couldn't believe it.
And then all these dippy shit libs. And now is the time to believe Amber Heard more than ever.
Yes. I'm with her. This criminal intent is based on Trump being told by many people that the election was not stolen and he could not stop its certification. I was one of those who maintained that Trump was wrong on the election. Well, you were wrong too. Vice President Pence's authority to void the results and the Trump team's challenges. However, Trump followed the advice of a second, albeit smaller, set of lawyers who told him there was a basis for challenging the election. Let me tell you something. It's within your constitutional rights to challenge it even if you have no proof. You're allowed to do it.
Oh, but you don't understand. If you say, hey, maybe there's something going on here, then all the crazy bad people are out there, the ones who would vote for Trump, who are the worst Nazis, not the kind of good Nazis we help in Ukraine, the bad kind,
Nazis
obviously.
that we have in,
They're going to get ideas. You have to lie to them like children and say everything's fine, or else they're going to get ideas and there'll be violence. And that's stochastic terrorism, which is a real thing and not something that AOC farted out.
Yes. Stochastic terrorism. I love that. That is not a crime.
That's not her original fart either. She stole that. She stole that queef from someone else.
It is, in my view, protected political speech. Presidents routinely lie on matters great and small. Many of those lies cost citizens dearly, from keeping your doctor under Obamacare to losing your life in Vietnam. Criminalizing lies in campaigns because of the spread of disinformation or disorder is a slippery slope that vests unprecedented power in the Justice Department. There is a wicked twist in all of this for Biden. The very controversial linchpin used against Trump could conceivably be used against him.
Yeah, no kidding.
No shit, particularly in the launching of an impeachment inquiry by the House Republicans. Far more serious are the accusations facing Biden over his response to the growing corruption scandal allegedly involving his sons and others. It now seems clear that Biden has lied to the public for years on critical details of the scandal. Indeed, his denial of any knowledge or involvement in his son's overseas businesses deals go back to the 2020 presidential debate. Biden also denied that Hunter received any money from China, which we now know he did, which the Washington Post now declares to be manifestly untrue.
Even the Post can't go along with this lie?
Yes, even the Post. For years, Biden has allowed his staff, including White House officials, to repeat his denials while opposing any further investigation. It must be talking about Jean-Claude Pierre Van Damme III, the White House secretary. This is why guilt by implication or association, as employed by Special Counsel Smith against Trump, could be a dangerous legal standard for Biden. You don't say. And here we are. The proof is in the pudding. Biden's directing his administration to go after Donald Trump, his Justice Department, when he's done stuff like this.
President Trump says, Sleepy Joe has real problems. Reminds me of Crooked Hillary and her 33,000 deleted emails. A lot of the Ukraine charges about you have been debunked and were unfair. There's one thing that a lot of Democrats even do wonder about, and that is Hunter Biden, your son, was getting paid a lot of money to serve on the board of a Ukrainian energy company facing serious corruption charges. You were the vice president running point on Ukraine. The average Joe hears that and says, that sounds fishy. What's your understanding of what your son was doing for an extraordinary amount of money?
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board.
Lie.
Oh.
Lie. Where's my hat? I got to get my hat on for this one. Lie. It's right there. Even the New York Post, which has the beautiful Ukrainian flags up there and stuff like that, even they got it too. Because they got some.
Can I ask you, like, why? There's always this new news like, oh, Hunter, like all of this stuff about Hunter was out fairly quickly. Very easy to find and know if you felt like it.
It was Russian disinformation.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes, it was. That's what they said. And they even got this going on now, too, as well over here, what I told you. Georgia bracing for Trump's next indictment. You got to be a newspaper guy because they tell you all the bullshit, all their propaganda. They give you the playbook on it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me Russia made Mulan give him a foot job while he smokes crack with
it was all
Rob
Russia.
Dyrdek's ridiculousness playing in the background?
It was all Russia.
The live action Mulan.
You got to listen to Sleepy Joe's answer. You're going to love this, Kurt.
And that was it. And there's nobody.
Well, you've had a lot of time. Isn't this something you want to get to the bottom of?
No, because I trust my son.
But that doesn't pass the smell test. Like when you're vice president, isn't there a higher standard? Don't you need to know what's happening with your family? Don't you need to put down some guardrails?
Unless there was something that was, there was something on its face that was wrong.
Okay, such.
I don't know who's more comical here, the interviewer here or Joe Biden. And you gotta it's my son, dude. He's never done anything wrong.
Here's something on its face that I just off the top of my head. Your crackhead son's got a job for 80 grand a month in a Ukrainian energy board. He sits there.
Yeah, the big guy.
That's what they look for. Crackheads whose dad isn't the vice president.
Yes. And we all know that Joe Biden was lying. We have all the emails now. We have all the proof. We have Devin Archer who testified. He knew the whole time. They went and Hunter said this. The reason why they like me is not because I'm a good looking guy and I have a good posse that travel around me. They like me because of my last name.
Wait, what about his message to his sister? Like, how would you like, is it Ashley? How would you like it if your dad took half of your money for the family? Yes. He was mad. They had a joint account. He did pay attention to Hunter because Hunter's a crackhead.
Yes.
So like, you gave me half of your money, boy. We'll put it in the family account from all the China guy dealings and guy in the Ukraine, the Burisma.
Listen to the rest of this really quick too as well. Because take a guess, Kurt, Misha. Take a guess, audience out there. Who is he going to pivot to blame to get the tension off of him?
Trump's goofy kid?
There's nothing on his face that was wrong. So look, if you want to talk about problems, let's talk about Trump's family.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Weird.
Bing, 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 bing.
Guy's hair matches his skin tone. Is creepy as hell. He shot a panda bear, man, on a safari. That's not cool, man.
There's two people that are going to blame the Democrats and Joe Biden, either Trump or Russia. Here we go. And
let's talk about Trump's family.
Of course.
I mean, come on. Come on,
man.
Come on,
Jack.
You guys are amazing.
You guys are amazing.
So you think that everything that happened was kosher?
There's not one single bit of evidence.
Not one single bit, a shitload of bit.
Not one little tiny bit.
Wait, how many?
Anything that was wrong?
How much does that hard drive hold on the laptop?
I don't know.
Surely more than one bit.
More than one bit. A couple terabytes.
You know that, but you keep asking me these questions. It's okay. You're doing what you have to do.
Look at this guy's face. Look at that face.
I know. I'm sorry, Mr. President.
This guy is. where do they find these guys?
Mr. President, I feel bad. Look at his purse's lips. Like, yes, I'm wrong for that, and I'm sorry. Wait, he looks like when these guys get caught cheating. That's the face they make with their mouth. Like, I have to pray with my family now.
Where do they find these guys?
I know. I hated having to ask that, Mr. President.
I had to, though, Mr. President.
To look into your pulled back Kenny Rogers skin tight face. His plastic surgery is some of the worst I've ever seen.
Look, this is right now. We're getting to the Hunter Biden stuff right now, and it's all coming out. Wait until they get to. Is it Ashley Biden's diary? Wait until they get to that.
We got to that. No, people don't know.
No. Wait until the mainstream gets that. Wait till they have the testifying in the House and whatnot.
Either her. I want to say it was her.
Yeah.
It might have been his niece, but I think it was Ashley used to hang out at the comedy cellar. Let's just say she had problems.
But look, the American public knows me.
Last one.
Yeah, they freaking know you.
On this. Say you're elected.
I'm sorry, but you have to go back to the left again. Look how bad.
Come on, man. It makes me laugh.
Say you're elected. You're in office. What guardrails would you have to be sure that your son, your brother Jimmy, doesn't do anything to trade on the family name?
They will not be engaged in any foreign business because of what's happened in this administration.
This administration. The fact that Donald Trump got hotels built in the Golan Heights and, did business with the Saudis, and he got patents friendly with China to make his hat, his Make America Great, because of that. Not the resource extraction that you've been involved with for God knows how long, Mr. Biden. Not all of that crap. Not forcing a war on people, propagating a war. None of that stuff, foreign policy-wise, ever is going to affect. It's because what Donald Trump did. is the reason why they're going to stop with the foreign policy crap.
He ruined it forever.
No one's going to be seeking patents for things from China. No one's going to be engaged in that kind of thing.
What?
So
what
no
about for
foreign
viruses?
business for
Correct.
relatives in office.
I guess that was Trump too, though, was it? He let that start back up, didn't he? Didn't they have a moratorium on that?
I think so.
And Trump was like,
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci doing terrific research.
Yeah. So this is Mr. McAdams, who works with the Ron Paul Institute, and what he had to say on the whole situation. This is going to be one of the last videos before we get on out of here. I know we're getting close to 4 o'clock. Take a listen to this.
Trump's first impeachment was he got on the horn with Zelensky and said, hey, can you look into some of these dirty dealings of Biden? Well, it turns out now, and we'll talk about it in a second, that there was plenty to ask about that. So what did Biden do? He pushed his people to impeach Trump over asking about the dirty deals, which is exactly what they did about that prosecutor in Ukraine.
And that's what it's all about. It was his foreign dirty deeds in which why they were, you know, what's really out there, what's going wrong. I mean, I know Trump took advantage of the whole situation with his son, patents and his daughters and everything else like that. So but this is about resource extraction, changing governments, forcing a war. This is what was going on.
Well, because I have a good friend. I was like, because I'd forgotten. It's been so many like things to get Trump that didn't work.
Do you remember what the impeachment was for off the top of your head?
He asked Zelensky to look into that, and that somehow is asking to investigate a political opponent, which at the time was like the worst crime anyone ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's 100% what you should do with Trump. And I asked my friend, like, what? Like, I want him to look into that. I don't understand. He goes, well, that's corrupt. And I go, so that stuff that Hunter did. And my buddy goes, well, they all do that. Except it's wrong when Trump does it.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
He's
a unique
two sets of
evil,
rules.
And I know it's so because everyone in my clique, and I can plan to continue working in show business and not alienate anyone, and I will go along with every stupid, I'll moo with all the cows in a herd to make sure I'm still in the clique.
Yeah, they will. And there's a reason why Biden and his people pushed to have Donald Trump impeached. And the reason why everybody in the Democrats went along with the impeachment is because there were so many dirty fingers carpetbagging in Ukraine. You're talking about Nancy Pelosi and her son Paul Pelosi had contracts in an energy group. Mitt Romney had dirty fingers in business in there. John Kerry had dirty fingers in business. Adam Schiff. When the government changed, there was a Ukrainian oligarch who took over a lot of the defense contracts with the new government. Well, he was throwing fundraisers in California right around the corner at almost $2,500 a plate to raise money from them. There was dirty hands in the Ukraine, and they didn't want to get caught. Donald Trump, the narcissist that he is, like you said, was going in there, and he wanted information about how he got screwed in the election because CrowdStrike was also in Ukraine. He didn't go after for the right reasons. He didn't go to the public and say, no, we have a bunch of dirty hands in there that are making money. People like Nancy Pelosi, people like John Kerry, people like Adam Schiff. Instead, he went in there and he wanted information for his own narcissistic reasons.
Well, also, don't those Republicans also make money in there? Well, there's no reason Lindsey Graham has got that much of a hard on.
Well, Lindsey Graham, along with
McConnell,
Eye Patch McCain, and John McCain at the time.
And Snake Plissken.
Yes. At the time, Lindsey Graham and John McCain were going up there. Let me get something straight over here, ladies and gentlemen, because I know I bag on Democrats a lot because I once was a Democrat, right? The Republicans are equally as guilty over here, too, as well. Mitch McConnell went to Ukraine not too long ago, okay, before he had his whole situation.
Those fringe ones that Colbert tells you not to like.
Yes.
They're like the only ones not in on this crime.
Well, the thing is that you got the ones like Matt Gaetz and a couple others that are kind of against the war, Thomas Massie. Now, Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, I don't think are where Matt Gaetz is. I think Matt Gaetz and a few of the other ones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that are speaking out against it, will be very happy with a war in China. You know, let's stop because this is Biden's war.
Right.
Right? You know,
the Taiwan thing is
they'll be all for that.
Seems like the somebody half gets it and they go, whoa, we got to get ready for China.
Yeah. Because that's what, so I think they'll be happy with that and stuff. But I mean,
by the way, you already lost to China, morons, when we sent all our jobs and virus research there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do you really, I like what, not to mention right now, but RFK, he's talking about let's take on China economically, because it's not about taking on China economically. It's more about bringing manufacturing and works back home, getting the America to be the good old America that we used to be. If we're going to take on China economically, we have to change the way we do business in the United States. That means we have to make things, we have to fix things. We can't just have a service economy. So that's what it's all about. I like that mentality.
But we're so close to AI. We won't need you useless workers. Yeah. Who want breaks.
Useless eaters.
We won't need you useless eaters.
Yes.
Now, we probably will have to feed the robots some form of human protein-based paste, but we will only select a few of you to sacrifice to the great AI god. I'm getting ahead of things.
It's okay. You're scaring the audience, Kurt. Let's listen to the rest of Mr. McAdams here.
He started looking into Hunter Biden's dirty deals. Boom, they got him fired. Biden himself bragged about getting him fired. So this is what they do. It's like the Godfather. You go against them, they knock you off, and that's what they're doing. So here's the breaking news from this morning. If you put that first one up, which is that Comer, as you pointed out, has done us all a favor. House GOP released bank records on Hunter Biden payments from Russian and Kazakh oligarchs. Total clears $20 million. $20 million bucks. Here's how the Daily Caller put it, if you do the next one. House Oversight releases bank records showing Hunter Biden took millions from Russian and Ukrainian oligarchs. They were for sale, and the money came flowing. And as we know from other releases, they had all these shell companies. And, I was reading some Democrats said, well, they never proved that Biden got a check. Well, of course not. That's why you have a shell company here and a shell.
How long could they pull off this shit? They really want to believe that Hunter Biden could do this on his own, that they weren't buying access to the big guy, that he would get all these deals without, with Hunter's just doing his own thing, that he's all swift and swaggy and can go on in there and make deals himself.
For a guy with a crippling addiction problem, he's very accomplished.
He is.
He still didn't pay any taxes after he got all that?
No, and he left his coke in the White House, too.
And he leaves his gun places.
Yes, he put his gun in a garbage pail and stuff. Yeah.
Company there. It's not like, dear Joe, here's some money.
Right. It's a sad story, and you talk about the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
There is none, and I think there's been a significant change systematically over 100 years of shifting from a republic to this authoritarian system that we have. And if you don't have a justice system, there is no republic.
Well, we have a banana republic.
Gonzo. Yeah, we have a banana republic. That's it.
The irony.
And these people were buying access using Hunter to get to the big guy. And the big guy is Joe Biden.
Without anything wacky conspiracy about it, here's the big thing. If you're like, hey, why is everything sucking out in America? Because now they're going to do to you the stuff we did to everybody else for the...
Absolutely.
Hey, it's like they're trying to break down my family and break down coherence. The thing we do around the world?
Yes.
Well, guess what? It's a transnational corporation. They don't care about... that's for chumps.
Our foreign policy is our domestic policy. Anything we practice abroad, we will bring it home eventually. That's what we're doing. We're trying it out. We're testing it out.
Yeah, we just experiment. That's as much you can ask for, I guess. I had a buddy years ago who got rich off of the .com boom, who started out selling domain names like real estate. Like you go to these auctions. They got into some other computer thing, and they would buy domain names. So I think he sold. I don't know if he ended up selling to them, but he owned like a Hitler.com, and the ADL wanted it. So it wouldn't be, like you buy a name like that and some group will buy it.
Yeah.
Then he had moved on to outsourcing American jobs to other third world countries or also China. That was his next. I remember we were out drinking. He used to explain, he goes, yeah, basically I don't care about American workers. Like Americans, they want to get paid a lot. And at the time I wasn't like, oh, you piece of garbage. Like I was like, oh, what do you know? It's like, that's I guess how they think, those guys. He's not even a big dude. He's a rich guy.
Yeah.
It's not even as big as the people who really ship the jobs out. He's like just a guy who was working his way up, shipping all the jobs out. That's how they feel about you.
Yeah. And isn't it funny, too, as well, just to finish, put a little cherry on top of this section over here, that every single time that they bring something up on Hunter Biden, there's an indictment against Donald Trump. Every single freaking time right now.
Yeah, it's like a voodoo doll.
I do appreciate Rand Paul saying that we shouldn't go and impeach, Donald Trump right now, Joe Biden, because now we're just doing the tennis game. But it's such a great distraction. That's why we can send billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine, because everybody's paying attention to this shit.
Well,
there's
guess
not
what?
money about Ukraine in this paper, but there's money about Donald Trump here.
Can I tell you what's great with the elder corruption of the system? The fact that it's that corrupt. So like their polls, like when you say you don't believe those polls, because they're like, everybody's doing this stuff to show results, like Afghanistan war that kept going on. Like, no, we're getting results. See, we just need a little more.
Yeah.
And so everyone's has their level of scam they're doing. So people at the top are getting bad intel from the people below them that are getting the money, who are getting bad intel from the people below them. So they're always, that's why they're always shocked when it didn't work out how they thought. So whatever they're getting intel from, because it's baffling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think of the Bud Light lady, right? Who got Dylan Mulvaney, not Dylan Mulvaney. Can't blame Dylan Mulvaney.
But the woman who hired him.
The interview is amazing. She goes, Bud Light was a brand in decline. It is? It is now.
Yeah.
Now you got a chance to deal with it, sister, ain't it?
Yeah.
How was it in decline before that? That's consultants. You had to pay a lot of people to come up with the reports, the long-winded nonsense that an exec looked at and went, oh, we're in decline. Yeah. They're that's what they're going to love.
Yeah.
and without the basic sense that Bud Light tastes like piss, so the high-class people you want to like instead of the white trash, they're never going to drink it.
Yeah.
These people don't get that. They don't get like what Bud Light is. And I'm telling you, that applies to all of them. You're going to be very shocked with these Trump indictments, how bad that's going to turn out.
How about you want to talk about somebody who shocked core values, Kurt? Core values.
I love that guy.
I can't believe that they had a coup and stuff
Any
like
word,
that.
Any
core
word on
values.
what those core values
Core
are?
values.
What are those values?
Yeah, shit.
Money flows up.
Yeah, and shit flows down.
Come see our live shows. We're going to be in Chicago, Rosemont, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, New York City, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Stamford, Toronto, Toledo, Detroit, St. Louis, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.